Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1244, 1244. Hi, it's Mike Matthews, the last show before Christmas Day. Well, I might do one on Christmas Day, but you're going to be busy probably drinking your eggnog and eating your cheese log and other things that rhyme with og. This is Mike Matthews broadcasting from Cafe Anyway. Mike's Daily Podcast. And that's what we call the show, Mike's Daily Podcast at Cafe Anyway. Anyway. Mike's Daily Podcast. Today we're going to hear from a bunch of characters I made up, but I did it because I'm in love with the crazy folks in our world today, and they're Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere the engineer, who are going to stop by and say, hey. That's spelled H-E-Y. Mike's Daily Podcast. And I am going to bring you the segment called Ain't Life Grand, where we're going to find out about someone who's daily doing some writing. Podcast. I tried doing some writing. Yeah! I found I enjoy talking better than writing. Hey, you can find me on Twitter at Mike Talks. Hey, you can find me on Facebook at Mike Talks. Mike Talks. Last night I was considering changing my name to Mike M. Matthews. Put the make up that the M is my middle name, even though M is not my middle name. But Haley suggested from the Daily Haley that I should put M in there because Haley says Michael M all the time. Michael M. Matthews. And that would then delineate me, differentiate me, differentiate me from Mike Matthews, the workout guy, who stupid Robert Welsh sent me a link saying, hey, Mike, you've got the same name. Is this you? Did you write a book? And he sent me a link to Michael Matthews' workout fitness. The dude is ripped. Michael Matthews is ripped. And it's just kind of like, oh, Robert, here's a link to somebody that has your name that looks way better than you. That's how I took it anyway. Hey, I might be a little sensitive, but that's what keeps the show going. I also had an interesting moment where I was thinking, oh, look who just walked in. Oh my God, he's Chely Shoehart, the job supervisor. Oh my God, that Michael Matthews is really ripped. He is. He's got muscles. But he probably ingests an extreme amount of protein. He's probably screwing up his body by being so extreme. I think you can't do that to your body. It's sort of like if you go the extreme way with drugs, for example, with the cocaine and the whatever the stuff is that the alcohol. Perhaps Mr. Michael Matthews is hooked on the steroids, perhaps. Michael Matthews, you don't know that for sure. I know, but this Michael Matthews knows that he will not ever be ripped like that. I had a time when I was younger, it was easy to get into, good physique when you were younger. But those days are gone. And you know what? Look who else just walked in. I gotta be careful with my back. I'm at that age where hell, 10 years ago, I just said H-E double hockey sticks. Or as Haley said, H-E, dang it, I can't remember. Go back and listen to that one episode where Haley was talking about what hell looked like to Haley. The hockey sticks looked like something else. So, what? My memory is gone. Yeah, I gotta be careful with your back. 30 years, when I was 30, I had a bad back. And I'm like, I'm too young to have a bad back. My dad, when he was still alive, was like, Mike, you're too young to have a bad back. So you gotta watch your back, is what I'm saying. Lift with your legs. It's so great. I'm gonna name this show Eggnog. I have not been drinking a lot of eggnog. I would buy eggnog in the past, and you could just basically take your scale and throw it out the window, because as soon as you buy eggnog, you're gonna gain weight. That stuff goes right to your poundage. So I am just enjoying here and there, if I happen to be at a Starbucks, a little eggnog latte, or at a Pete's, Or at my Whole Foods has a cool coffee place. Or maybe I should patronize my local mom and pop coffee places. Like Cafe Rumi in Podcastro Valley. Cafe 4. All these great places owned by independent coffee roasters. Or people. Verve Coffee supplies the coffee to Cafe 4, and it is so good. They're out of Santa Cruz. But I was thinking, an interesting thing happened when I was, and thinking is scary, I know. Oh, some people also walked in. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman! And this is John Deere, the engineer. I'm glad that you named this show Eggnog, because eggnog is from another planet. What do you mean? Well, it couldn't obviously come from this planet. It's so thick and unearthly. It makes you really fat, too. I know, John Deere! I like your Santa hat. Thank you, Mike. Mike, do you like mine? Oh, I thought that was just your hair. Haha, he's got a lot of hair, everybody. It's like a big man fro. White fro. It's gray! But gray's my favorite color. I felt so symbolic yesterday. If I drew a Picasso, we did that yesterday. We Counting Crows did up yesterday, the last show. So, what I was doing, I was on my little vacation that I had. Oh,
and here's today's podcast picture.
Thank you, Ariel, who I hope is going to be enjoying a nice Christmas. Perhaps she's coming back to California from North Carolina. Thank you, North Carolina, for frickin' messing up the bathroom bill. They tried to repeal it yesterday, and nope. They want to keep it. They want to keep being prejudiced. So, idiots, they're going to keep getting boycotted by all these massive, huge companies and Bruce Springsteen. So you'll learn eventually, North Carolina. The podcast picture is of a bear. Jingle Bear. Jingle all the way, Jingle Bear. Wishing you a Merry Christmas. See that picture now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. I think that's somewhere in Podcastro Valley. I don't know. That was the sound that the bear makes. And the bear, Jingle Bear, see that and other cool things at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com, including past podcast pictures. There's the Amazon link if you want to buy anything on Amazon last minute here for the holiday season, or perhaps you'll check in on some of the great deals that they have post-holidays. I don't know. I don't mean to do a commercial for Amazon, but they will have a bunch of drones bringing you your presents next year, bringing your things that you ordered by this time next year with their autonomous drive, nobody behind the wheel vans. Which I already hate white vans. Not the shoes, the vehicles. Any white van, doesn't matter the make, it doesn't matter the color, it has to be white. But doesn't matter. White vans, people that drive white vans, for some reason think they have carte blanche to drive horrible. I cannot believe how badly people drive white vans. They cut you off. They drive too slow. They drive too fast. They drive every which way to make you and your life horrible. Thank you, white vans. I like white snow. Don't like the yellow snow. I like other white things. Not all white people. There's a lot of white people I don't like. But you know what? I'm trying to have an open heart, generosity of spirit, and accepting some of the idiot white people that drive the white vans. I don't know who's driving the white vans, but there might be nobody behind those white vans. They're autonomous driven vehicles, driverless vehicles, yet they don't have any of the technology in them. They're just going down the street with nobody in it, and it's in neutral. But I've just had a lot of bad experiences with white vans. And some white people. But there's, all kinds of strange people in this world. And there's a bunch in North Carolina. Whenever they show the footage of the North Carolina legislators, there's always that big, fat Southern guy going, "Well, I'm Boss Hog, and I'm going to get those Duke boys. It's some good old boys. Never meaning no harm. That's all you ever saw. Been in trouble at the law since I think that was fall. Over the hill." Anywho, where did we go just then? You can also help out the show through PayPal and you'll get a special greeting from all the Cafe Anyway characters at Christmas time.
That is not appropriate behavior, okay?
Christmas is totally appropriate behavior. Being full of the Christmas spirit. Hey, I was talking about... I have Terry and Steve. Now, when you hear Terry and Steve, that could be two guys, right? A two-guy couple. It's not. The heterosexual couple. But whatever, it could be, but it doesn't matter. But I am in the Bay Area. Or I could be anywhere. I could be on the point is, Terry and Steve, they said to me one day, almost 4 years ago, said, hey Mike, we want to go to the cemetery in Piedmont. That's in Oakland. There's an old cemetery. The guy that founded Crocker Bank is buried there. Ghirardelli's buried there. A bunch of famous people and not so famous people, but have interesting stories in their past history. And they give you a little brochure and you walk around the cemetery. And I went there. I was still married, and I went with my ex-wife and then wife and Terry and Steve. And we walked around. We first had lunch at a place called Fenton's Ice Creamery, which is just down the street in Piedmont. They've been on several shows on the Travel Channel, Food Network, and whatnot. Very well known for their ice cream. And so we went on this, we ate first, and we went on this tour in the cemetery, and then they drove us home. And I go into the house, and there had been this weird awkwardness between my wife and I for about a year. And there we were in the living room, and my wife said, I want to get a divorce. And that was the day that, your whole life changes then in that situation, obviously. So it's weird, though. A couple weeks ago, not only did my ex-wife get married, and she's pregnant, but I was back at that cemetery with my dog. I had not been there since that time. And I just happened to be driving around on a day off that I had from both of my jobs. I had a day off from both of my jobs. I was enjoying driving around the Bay Area, except for the fact that it rained a whole heck of a lot, and somehow a bunch of water got into my car, and I started having all kinds of short-circuiting going on. But that was another podcast that I did that whole bit on, and you can hear that in a past podcast, which you can find at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. And I came upon the cemetery and walked my dog there. You can walk your dog at this cemetery, by the way, in Piedmont. And it has amazing views of the Bay Area. And then I didn't realize until last night that I had been there, the last time I had been there, had been that horrible, horrible day. So it's strange. And it connected in ways now has connected back with then, but I am also moved on, and I'm in a happier place, and I'm doing a podcast, so I guess all in all, everything's good. Thank you. That was just an update on my life. But it's weird when you go back to some places and the memories pop back, and it just, wow. It was not a good day, my friend, not a good day. And you're full of Fenton's ice cream when you're told you want to get your ex wants a divorce, and you're full of Fenton's. You're full of calories. And then Michael Matthews comes in and says, Mike, look at you fat tub of ice cream. Work out now. Take steroids. Here we go. Do some burpees. Up, down, up, down. Working out is fun, isn't it? And the other last thing I wanted to mention was that January 1st, the new app law starts. Applause? No. What it is you cannot be driving your car and looking at any app now. It used to be you couldn't be texting. Now it's going to be any app at all. You can't be holding your phone. You can't be looking at your phone. How are they going to police this? The police are not even following up on the texting laws here in California. That was the big to-do 7 years ago. Oh, California's got a new texting law. They're not doing a dang thing about it now. How are they going to follow up on this app law? Applause. How are they going to do that? It's my question. Okay, here's the segment 8 Life Grant.
8 Life Grant.
J.K. Rowling. I'm going to call her Rowling. You may say Rowling. Rolling on the river. But I'm going to say Rowling, because I like to cause a row. J.K. Rowling has said that the story of Harry Potter is finally over. Ha ha! Yes! What? I can't wear those geeky glasses anymore? But that doesn't mean she's done writing novels. She took to Twitter yesterday morning to discuss the project she's currently having in the works and stuff, including finishing the screenplay for the second Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them movie. I didn't see that yet. I might see that eventually. After a fan tweeted to her to ask if she is writing any new books, Rowling responded that she was literally working on one at that very moment. She went on to explain that she will be releasing 2 different novels in the foreseeable future, one under her own name and one under her pen name, Robert Galbraith. You know, I'm amazed how Twitter is still so relevant today. You had Trump tweeting at the Chinese over that water drone, and now here we are finding information from J.K. Rowling over Twitter. Yet Twitter has just fired other people, or a couple people have left in their corporate makeup, and they look like they're still having issues. While the topic of her Rowling book remains a mystery, the Galbraith will presumably be the 4th installment in her Cormoran Strike detective series, the 3rd of which, Career of Evil, was published in 2015. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. Short story. That was a short story. I have written a short story. Once Upon a Time, The End. And then that's the end of this show. But I want to thank you for listening to the show. Have some eggnog for the Christmas Eve. And possibly I'll be talking with you on Christmas Day. Have nothing but good memories, my friend. Nothing but good memories. And, what? Is that Santa? Santa on the roof? As he exclaimed ere he rode out of sight. Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Happy. Talk to you soon.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com.
Email Mike now at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye.